Hello and welcome to Join the Anarchy!
Oh my god.
For those of you who will eventually be listening to this in podcast form, we were all started the show with really awful faces on.
And
Yeah.
Trad drooled.
Yeah,
I
super
spit water
sexy.
all over my.
So, hello and welcome to Join the Anarchy, the interactive Shadowrun Anarchy actual play campaign live on Twitch. It's improvised, uncontrollable, and we're here to have some fucking fun. Get hyped! Yeah! Episode 4, Deliverance is back.
I'm so excited! I missed you guys
Hey.
so much.
I know, we missed you too. You would have had a blast on the last session.
Oh my god, it was insane.
I haven't listened to all of it. I've
Yeah.
only gotten a little bit through,
Yeah.
but I missed you guys. So excited!
Yes.
Same.
So, to begin, let's start with a little bit about what Join the Anarchy is. As we said, we're totally improvised. We run on audience suggestions, so we are watching you. You are like another cast member here, which is why you're here on our stream for us to scroll
We are
through.
watching you.
We are watching, and
Yeah.
the world is watching. So basically, just throw out suggestions like you're at an improv show, except you get to shout them all the time. And every time that we
pretty much.
like a suggestion, we get a plot point. And plot points can be used for all kinds of things for us in the game, like rolling glitch dice when we want someone to mess up, or or possibly succeed when they've messed up. Jumping in front of bullets to save other people, attacking twice, lots of fun, or just introducing our own little plot twists. I start with 1. Players, remember to start with 3. Yes, and then also, when we get one of your suggestions, you get a raffle ticket for being so creative and on point that we decided to take your suggestion, and we enter your suggestion into a raffle, and at the very end, we shuffle the whole list of suggestions. So if you've made several suggestions that we've taken, then you get several raffle tickets, shuffle them, and one of them will win our giveaway of $15 on Drive-Thru RPG, which is enough to buy yourself a copy of Shadowrun Anarchy, which is the RPG that we're going to play tonight, or, some other supplemental material for Shadowrun, or maybe your, some indie game that you might like, whatever, something. Drive-Thru RPG. It's a great website. Also, another thing, we have the Stream Boss, and the Stream Boss, every time that you support our channel in any way, that's whether you follow us, subscribe, subscriptions, by the way, if you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription a month, so feel free to drop that this way to the Shadowcasters network. We have all kinds of awesome programming here that you can take a look at. So subscriptions, donations, and cheers. All of them will knock HP from the Stream Boss, and once the Stream Boss reaches 0 HP, if you were the one that dealt the killing blow, you become the new Stream Boss with more HP. And every time that the Stream Boss is knocked out, all of the players get an edge, so you're supporting everybody. An edge is used to re-roll all of our dice, or make our dice more powerful, which sometimes can be very, very helpful.
Yes.
And... Ooh,
Whoa,
bam!
starting off.
Nick Morgan. Thank you, Nick Morgan. You are the Stream Boss, so everyone gets an edge.
Woo!
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
So,
Gonna need that for my virtual bowling.
hell yeah. It's
Yeah.
peanut butter Shadowrun time. Thank you, Plateau.
Shadowrun, peanut butter.
Oh, actually, yeah. Lego.
Sorry, I have to. It's a thing my sister and I do all the time, so I have to. It's like it's like a pulse I have to do.
Yeah. Oh man, that was like one of my favorite songs growing up. Anyway,
Right?
so yeah, so simple yet so amazing. And also, if you are the final Stream Boss of the night, we usually end sometime around midnight. So if you have been able to defend your position as the Stream Boss, you get to design an NPC with me over the next 2 weeks to introduce into the next session. Our previous stream boss was actually our guest player, Opti, who didn't want to become the stream boss, and then he's like, wait, fuck.
Ended up, yeah.
So he made us a
So
character.
easy, you can do it by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So he made a character for us tonight. So let's see where this all takes us. So before we begin tonight, let's have each of our players introduce themselves and their characters. But first, I am Oz. I am your game master, otherwise known as the Oligarch of Insanity. Because I control
Evil
everything.
Overlord.
I control and mold all of the randomness that is being thrown at us into some kind of plot.
The eye to the One Ring.
Yeah.
Bowser. I'm trying to think of all the boss titles.
Yeah.
Big Cheese.
Yeah. All right, so let's do one of these ziggy zags. So Deliverance.
I am Scrim and I play Deliverance. She is a mage who is a devoted Christian and mother. And when last we saw her, she was helping take down the StarCraft 7 champion. What's Deliverance been up to? You know what? We'll save it for the stream.
Yes, we will. Oh, yes, we will.
Okay.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, you should be. Fritz.
Hi, my name's Travis, and I play Fritz, the German elf technomancer with a lot of PhDs and a lot of age and mental problems. I am not usually in headset, weird, funky territory, but I'm in Australia for 3 months, which also goes into a little tiny tangent, I promise, about the plot points I'm using, the physical plot points I'm using, which is Australian currency. And as you can see, the coins are all different sizes. You'd think, lots of coin, lots of value. No, the smallest one is worth the most. What is wrong with you? You're on an island!
Thank you. Very insightful. And and because you are in Australia, if you see Trav's can do a little bit of a lag, that's why. But his audio comes through really well, so luckily that is a good thing.
Yeah, we have to flip him from being upside down. So.
Yeah. I literally had to take his cam and just like flip vertical. Yeah.
Flip it.
And finally, Voltar.
Hi, I am Paige. I play Voltar. She is a human, if you could call her that, because she's all cyber. Like, literally, almost 100% of her is cyber. She's the street Sam of the group and can kick someone's ass. And also intimidate the fuck out of them.
Yes, excellent.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Not much to say about her. She's by the books, I guess. She's very stern, doesn't really have hobbies. Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, she doesn't have hobbies yet. Let's see
No,
what she gets into.
She likes bowling, even though she sucks at it.
That's true.
She
did
does
pick
like
up
bowling.
she did pick up a bowling interest on the previous episode. So previously on Shadowrun Anarchy, just to do a quick catch up, Fritz and Voltar were introduced to Bro, a Minotaur technomancer who is now back in the ether, but essentially they had to run a job given to them by a mysterious Aztlaner man named El Marques. He seemed very pleasant. And they had to intercept a armored van in transit to kidnap a specific pig from because they were headed like to a slaughterhouse or whatever. It was like food stuffs, and pig is a rare commodity. Just animals in general that you can eat are a rare commodity. So they assumed it was that, but turns out that the pig was actually somehow a sentient and also active in the Matrix. It was a techno critter.
User oink oink.
User oink oink, and. And he had a very charming British accent, and they just dropped him off at Deep Steam, the punk bathhouse club, dance club in Detroit. So let's so that's what Fritz and Voltar were up to. Let's talk about Deliverance. So Deliverance.
All right.
Let's start with a little bit of your house life. What would you say your let's describe your home.
All right. Deliverance lives in a shabby 3-bedroom apartment. Her 13-year-old and 11-year-old girls share a room, and Deliverance sleeps in the master with her 3-year-old son. And she keeps the place pretty pristine and tidy, but everything's pretty worn and old. And she's got most of her electronics are held together with duct tape, and require the occasional thump to get working. She has a narrow bookcase in one corner of the living room next to a worn out easy chair, and one full shelf is occupied with Bibles. She has a bunch of different physical Bibles that she owns, and the odd book, but the rest of it is all different comic books. And each of the kids kind of has their own little corner. They've sort of learned to coexist, but fights break out occasionally.
Okay. So, so remind us of your 3 different children, like a quick rundown of what they are like, and
Amy is a typical 13-year-old girl. She is branching out into her own, experimenting with her own autonomy, like any 13-year-old, and hasn't really, as far as Deliverance knows, hasn't really gotten into any trouble beyond the normal. But she keeps a close eye on her, particularly her activities in the Matrix. And they don't really have a lot of pleasant interactions lately. Sophia's different. She's a little ray of sunshine, 11 years old, loves drawing. She has brightly colored pink hair. Her and Deliverance dye each other's hair frequently. That's kind of their bonding time. And most of her drawings on, she has the bottom bunk. Most of the drawings pasted on the wall are unicorns.
Oh.
And little Reggie is 3. He loves climbing things. So most of the things in Deliverance's house are well attached to the walls. And she has a corner she has a second shelf that's empty. It's attached to the wall, and she has pillows set up all beneath it, and sometimes he'll climb up and then climb back down. He doesn't really fall too much anymore. He's an exploratory little guy. Prone to tantrums, but pretty delightful on most counts.
Okay. So, so you get, this is going to be, let's say, noon on a Wednesday, and you get a phone call, or rather, not even a phone call, a message that, Amy's teacher wants to speak with you. And before we get started, I want chat to help us give us some details on this teacher, subjects, maybe character quirks, etc., and a name, and yeah.
So as soon as Deliverance gets the message, she lets out a slow breath and rubs her forehead. and responds, "I'll be there right away." She's at the comic shop, so she leaves the place in the hands of her employee, whose name has slipped my mind. I did read it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
His name is David Anderson.
David Anderson. David, would you mind taking care of things for a bit? I gotta go handle something.
Okay. I would like you to pick one of these. Whichever one you'd like.
Okie doke.
Fucking teachers. Ms. Quaalude. So for the inevitable people only listening. So here's some just some names. Beatrice Ferguson, metahuman history teacher. Ms. Quaalude, algebra. Ms. Peggy White, eccentric art teacher. I love all the Ms. None of these bitches married.
Mrs. Quimby.
Mrs. Quimby. There you go.
There we
Fifth
go.
world history.
I think I'm gonna take Mrs. Quimby.
Mrs.
You.
Quimby.
Fifth world history, a little tiny orc.
I love like the
I love
image
that
of like
touch,
a Betty
the
White
fifth-
orc.
I also love the fifth world history. Oh, Betty
Yeah.
White. Oh, I could do Betty White. Let's do Betty
Miss
White.
Quimby, just like a small, like
Played by Betty White.
has the little white hair with the orc tusks.
Yeah, I love the idea of a tiny orc.
She's
like a
just
little
super
petite
cute in my
orc who's
head.
like,
Yeah.
Doesn't
I-
take
I-
any shit
yeah.
from her students.
Yeah, but she's just tiny.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I
thank
just
you.
imagine there's that one kid who like is texting in class or whatever, and she has like a yardstick and just smacks him.
Smack.
She
Like-
Loves that
suplexes
yardstick.
him into some chairs. Yeah.
And I'm gonna add in a little tidbit. She's a World War I history buff. Like that's her
Yeah.
jam. She loves
Yeah.
World War I. And Amy has come home a couple times rolling her eyes about how much she blabbed on and on about World War I. I don't care about Franz Ferdinand, fucking Quimby.
Good
Uh,
band.
All right. So little orc Betty White, not Betty Page. That would be totally different. Okay. So when you arrive at the school, the school is in Oakland County, Detroit. So it has it's lots of crumbling walls. Like the mold streak, or not mold streaks, but those like water streaks, water damage. Chipped tiles everywhere, and it's not exactly the best. But you walk into Miss Quimby's classroom, and it has like 100 desks all packed together, and nobody there, and you just see Amy sitting in like across from her front desk. And then there's the extra chair that's waiting for you, and she's kind of just avoiding her gaze, and you can't really read what it is that, if she knows, or you're not actually sure what's happening really. But Mrs. Quimby though is in her for little tiny orc, let's say her 5'8" self, which is very unusual for an orc.
Behind this like massive ass desk, and her chair is like pushed all the way up.
Yeah.
Like-
She approaches you and says, wait, what was your fake name? I know we gave you a fake name.
Janice.
Janice. Miss Janice, how are you?
Hi. What's going on?
Oh, please have a seat. Wait,
I
gotta be a little more Betty White. Oh, please have a seat.
I give Amy some side eye, but I don't say anything.
So, I wanted to talk to you about Amy's behavior in class. She's been very disengaged, very seemingly distracted, possibly. She doesn't really seem to be focused. And however, even though she doesn't turn in, and she also doesn't turn in homework assignments. It's been a continuous problem. Amy's like avoiding your gaze. She goes,
I glare at her when I hear that.
yeah. However, it's interesting only because her test scores are vastly above the other students. So we did a test. I just to see. We had an aptitude test on the matrix that we did for her, and she scored exceptionally. Janice, your daughter is gifted.
Well,
Amy like looks back and forth. She's like, "What?"
I mean, I'm not surprised to know that she's smart. I'm also not too surprised that homework has been less than ideal, because I know that effort can sometimes be a challenge for Amy. But
well, apparently, efforts can be a lot of very challenging for lots of excellent, gifted, bright minds. Unfortunately, the reason that I wanted to speak to you, it's like I don't usually deliver this test, but usually because we don't see a lot of that kind of potential in our students. We're one of the very few public schools left in Detroit after, privatization became a thing so many years ago. And we're really struggling, and it's hard to really engage someone as bright as Amy when you're teaching, and she points at her classroom, 100 students in one go. Especially about a subject that can be, considered very dense and, I don't understand why, but boring to students.
I can't imagine.
No, I know. The Fifth World is fascinating. Especially World War I. She points at her
I've heard
She points at her Franz Ferdinand poster.
Is it a poster of him with like a bullet wound in his head? Like,
Oh my god!
It's a bullet approaching. She wouldn't be that tasteless.
It's like very
Action shot. Yeah, I love this t-shirt.
the tagline is inevitability.
So yeah.
Miss Quimby, what? Now I have a couple questions. What kind of test exactly was this? Is this intellectual aptitude, or did it measure other skills?
Mainly intellectual aptitude, so logic, reasoning, the independent thought process. Just lots of. She has a very interesting way of looking at things and solving problems that and the test it was, and she passes like a pamphlet to you, and it says your child is gifted. And brought to you by Ares Macro Technology. Okay. And she passes you this pamphlet and says, and the test is actually administered by Ares. And as you know...
Do they have this information?
Well, yes. Now,
all right.
Here's the thing. We... Ares... This could potentially be a very, very life-changing thing. If she's able to put in the effort, Ares is willing to do, potentially with people that score as well as her, interviews, possibly even, take her in, corporate citizenship, well-paying job. She could be a leader in an industry of her choice.
Well, this is all quite a lot to take in.
Amy just looks back and forth like, wait, but does that mean that, like, I have to leave? And what about my
Oh, sweetie, you don't have any friends.
Amy, we'll have a chance to discuss this. Don't worry. We'll talk it through, and we'll make the best decision for you.
what about what I want? It's my decision, right? And it's not our decision.
Ultimately, I don't want to make you do anything you don't want to do, sweetheart.
Okay, well, thank you, Miss Quimby. I'm really not interested. Just kind of averts her gaze and...
All right.
Can we go now? It's like, oh, well, dear, really reconsider. You have a potentially bright future ahead of you, and I'm sorry, but I don't feel necessarily that our facilities are going to give you the challenge and the experience that you need, that someone as bright as you could. Essentially, what I'm trying to say, Janice, is perhaps you might want to look into alternative schooling. I know it's hard, but there are scholarship programs for children in more difficult financial. I don't want to assume, but usually when children are going to public school, they're having a little bit more difficulty these days financially. And well, it's a if she is willing to put in that effort, she could get a full ride.
I'm not entirely sure that I'm comfortable with an Aries school. Miss Quimby, I question the motives of anybody who'd try to scoop up talent in this way. And I really appreciate your effort. I know you have a lot on your plate. We're gonna discuss it, and we will decide what's best for Amy.
Okay, well,
I'll bring it up with her father as well.
Absolutely, yes. Please, really reconsider. Really consider it. It's not every day that you get children from our neck of the woods, getting a chance to, live downtown on the other side of the wall, possibly even work in the Ares building. This could be a huge life changer for her, and she could even, well, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but she could even possibly provide financially for the family as well in the future. Really, I mean, she has a, and to be fair, all corporations do scout this way.
They do indeed, yes. Thank you, Miss Quimby. Deliverance stands up and says, I'll be in touch. I really appreciate your work on this.
Okay. Well, it was a pleasure. Amy, remember, you have your assignment tomorrow? He's like, yeah. And she just packs up her her backpack.
So they head out, and Deliverance says to Amy, "Did you think you were in some kind of trouble?"
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't try hard.
All right. And what do you think of this?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a lot to take in, I don't want to leave, but no one's ever called me smart before. And she just looks out the window, like away from you.
Well, I think I said it once or twice.
No, I don't think you did.
Deliverance stops for a second and says, "All right. That's nobody ever gives you anything for free, Amy. These types of things come with strings attached. When you're in with a corp, you're in for life, and they don't let you leave." It's not a decision a 13-year-old should have to make.
Okay. Well, if... Yeah, I guess we'll think about it. I can't...
That's your dad.
I would love it, to be honest. Just to see something new and... Yeah. I don't know. I mean, just... School sucks, Mom.
Yeah.
If they say that I can go to one of the Aries schools, I mean, that could be... I guess that could be interesting. I don't know. Maybe the test was wrong. Maybe I'm just dumb. Maybe I'm really dumb.
You're not dumb, sweetheart. They don't offer this kind of thing to just anyone.
Okay, well, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Can we just go home?
Yeah. So
meanwhile,
I'm gonna
breaking
Dental
all
benefits.
seriousness. Palmer's like, sell out dental benefits.
Yeah!
2 bits. Okay, so I'm gonna cut to a video call with Deliverance and her husband, Master Sergeant Abraham Jackson.
That is a name.
Wow.
Master Sergeant Abraham Jackson. And
Ugh.
she it's like late at night, kids are asleep, and she's in the living room and she's kind of like whisper yelling, and she says, Abraham, I do not want her to go to some goddamn Aries school. What are they gonna do to her?
Well, hold on
What are they gonna
now.
make her?
Hold on, think about it. I mean, she'll just join the.
Oh,
Look, I'm in the military, and this kind of discipline could be good for her.
Ah,
The
but
kind of
do
discipline
you
that
know what
Aries
they
could
do to
provide.
people? Oh God, you haven't seen it.
I'm in the military, honey.
Ah.
I've seen what they do. Yes, it's rough, it's hard, but you know, this could be a good thing for her.
You only see what they let you see.
Okay,
You don't understand, Abraham.
I'm the one that sees this every day.
I'm sorry. I'm not really myself. I'm sorry. You're right. You know more about this than me. I just don't feel comfortable with it.
Well, honestly, I think this should, give it some time. I mean, the decision doesn't need to be made right away. I mean, they said that the first interviews in the next 2 weeks.
Oh
It's just-
God, interviews. I don't even want to go there. Then they have her in their system, and they're just gonna hound her. Ugh.
I know this is rough for you, okay? Because yeah, it's been hard for you. Look, just do you want Amy to live the life that you once lived?
Of course not.
You know, this is a ticket for her. She could be a corp kid. She could have citizenship.
I guess. Oh God. Okay. I don't want to think about it anymore. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed, honey. Okay.
Next time, you know, would you be willing to pick up the phone when I call?
I just missed it, honey. I didn't.
You've been missing a lot of my calls lately.
You know, things are real busy. Okay. I got a lot to do down the store. I'm sorry. I'll make it a priority.
All right. I mean, I'll take it at face value, but yeah. Okay. I love you. I'm sorry I can't be there. I'm sorry I can't help, but
Oh, it's fine, honey. You're doing your bit. I love you too.
hang up. And you see little Reggie at the door listening in on your call. Mom, was that Daddy?
Oh, yes, sweetheart. I'm sorry. You were supposed to be asleep, mister.
You looked really upset.
Well, you know what? She goes over and gives him a hug and says, "It's all right to get upset sometimes. But I'm not upset with you, except for the fact that you're out of bed."
Okay, sorry.
That's right.
He
Alright,
gives you
let's go back.
a hug, like a climby hug, and then you like have to set him down, and he like skittles off into bed, leaving you alone in your home.
Deliverance goes to the easy chair and pulls out a Bible and flips through and starts to pray. And she's while she's praying, she's kind of fingering her gold cross.
I wish I had a Bible quote right now. Hold on.
Hey, chat. What is Deliverance reading?
Yeah,
I don't know.
What is the Bible quote? You can do a Google search of anything.
I have one if chat, but I'm interested to see what chat comes up with first.
Yeah, for
so
Let's see what
Also,
I can
I
find here.
don't know if anyone in the cast or in chat has watched any of Chris D'Elia's stand-up, but his impersonation of a small child is like what I pictured the little boy being. It's like, hey, excuse me, mom, you are looking like you are very excuse me, mom, you are looking very upset. Can I have some orange juice? like the very doesn't know what to do with his body just yet.
Yeah.
He's like, excuse me, hey, excuse me, mom.
Aww.
Mom, can I have cheese?
Okay, I think. Here we go.
Holy shit, Gray Man.
Oh, great, man. Where's the Opti when you need?
Right?
Yeah.
I'd be curious if he could actually like just pull a Bible quote like that.
Pull one out. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
No, that's the Pulp Fiction copy paste. Yeah.
All
So
right,
I
I
take
think I'm going to, as much as I that is a great reference. I have something else in mind, maybe a little less vengeance-y. So Deliverance opens up to 1 Timothy, and she reads the 4th chapter, and the passage is, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Until I come, devote yourself to the public reading of Scripture, to preaching and to teaching. Do not neglect your gift, which is given to you through prophecy when the body of elders laid their hands on you. And she sighs and closes it and continues to pray.
Okay. So, give yourself a plot point. That was a fantastic role-playing.
Oh, gee, that was not where the direction I was thinking it was going.
I came up with that in the shower last night, and I was like, oh, this would be amazing!
Fucking Aries!
It's funny, too, because the way things were going, I was like, she's a rigger. She has to be like a decker or something. Like, she's hacking into this. She's cheating, and then she, like, was, like, genuinely upset, and I was like, oh, I feel bad. Like...
So, Voltar.
Yes.
I want the chat to give us a memory or a thought, maybe even a vision, something that may or may not explain or be a part of Voltar's past, whatever that might be. And we're gonna just go ahead and insert it into your backstory.
All right, just take it. Please be good. I love Voltar.
But Voltar, you're currently just alone in your thoughts. Like if you could express your consciousness right now, it just feels like this void. But it's a very peaceful void.
Yeah, it's almost like meditation, I would think. That when she's normally alone, she's already learned to separate work from her own personal thoughts. And mostly the time when like it goes through work, it's just like, okay, I have to do this, 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 and this. But her personal thoughts are usually just kind of blank. There's no real memory trigger or anything unless she thinks of a certain thing. Like if she looks at something or smells something or hears something. Most of the time it's just silence and nothing else.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much all I can think of right now.
Ooh, let's do this one. Eric DeMage.
That is good.
Fuck? Wait. Wait.
So
I need to read
you
this.
hear-
Hold on.
You're in your void. You hear the thunk, 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 and slowly the vision of the blown off half of a skull lying on the ground, and you tossing pebbles, trying to dunk it into the eye holes.
Jesus, that's dark.
Thunk. Thunk.
I have no idea where to take this. I think in this vision / memory, whatever it may be, I could see her really trying, really focusing on getting it exactly in the eye hole. And always missing. Just continuously missing.
And this
And
is
she's-
frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, she just keeps getting more angry and more frustrating.
You're supposed to be perfect. Why can't you get it in there?
I don't know. And she just, as she gets more frustrated, her tosses get more careless. Sometimes it goes past the skull, sometimes it goes, like, just at her feet.
And when you toss one so hard that the skull cracks open, you wake up. And you are on an operating table getting your new cyber arms.
Oh, God.
You've
Yay!
you have just they've just kind of like finished. You look over and you see like the wrappings of them having just attached these arms to your meat body, what's left of your meat body.
Yeah.
And yeah, just and yeah, so you lift your cyber arm. It's nothing fancy yet, but you can maybe describe like it's still sleek. It's just not like a super high-end model. It was just something to be functional for now.
I can imagine that it's kind of all plating, like through where the joints are from like the wrist and then the knuckles and everything. Most of like, I think you can actually see the definition in my hand. So like these would all be wires, and you can actually like visibly see them until like they snap a metal plate over it and it secures it in place. But it's very exposed at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine it being very exposed because, yeah, like you said, it's not very sleek, but it is like clean metal,
Mm-hmm.
and it matches her entire set of, I guess, cybernetics.
And as you're lifting this hand, you feel a tug on your other hand, and when you turn, you see Colton Copper sitting bedside, holding your new cyber hand, and says, "What do you think?"
They are pretty. And she just stares at them.
Yes. I think they'll do. They're certainly better models, but for now, I know that this was something that was on something on our to-do list, and we can always replace it later with better models. Right now, this was the best I could get.
I'm going to, I guess if I can use a plot point, I'm gonna have this flash in her head just go off of the same sentence but in a different tone, and a more not sinister but darker tone.
You're talking about the sentence. I know
That
this.
called yeah.
I know that this was on our to-do list.
Yeah, basically, like, I know it's not good, but this is what we have, type of thing. And through the vision, she can see him vaguely, but
Like
all
silhouette.
she can feel, yeah, like the silhouette, like very blurry, but all she can feel is just pain, immense pain. And when she kind of like catches herself in that moment of memorization, she yanks her hand away from him and like holds her other hand.
What's wrong?
It hurt.
Well, we can buy some pain editors, install those into you.
I mean, before...
Would that make it better?
No.
Well, I'll jot it down for now, and you can reconsider. It could do you a lot of
Very
good.
well.
How are you and your team doing?
It's fine. It's surprising how well we work together.
That's good. You're still young, though. I think there's still time for... I need there to be extreme levels of professionalism on that team. And if already, that bodes well. Usually a lot of teams don't make it past the first or second run.
It seems professional. However, the last run didn't seem so.
How do you mean? Obviously, don't give me too many details, deniability and all that.
It was just too chaotic. Messy.
Sometimes chaos and being able to operate within chaos is what makes you a professional. Not everything can be accomplished cleanly. It's good that you're thinking how to best avoid messes, and I'm happy that you're not thinking recklessly. But yeah, sometimes you do have to get your hands dirty, don't you?
Yes. Isn't that what you did originally?
I did it for us. We are in the position that we are in because I was willing to do things. just like everyone that's in the positions that they're in, we're willing to do things.
Why can't I remember?
Well, we had those removed. We had any memories removed. Childhood and all those burdens, they obscure the meaning of what it is that you can accomplish. We started you fresh.
You mean perfection?
Yes.
I don't feel perfect.
Well, you're not, but you're getting close. There will be more upgrades, more training. And again, with time, your team will be able to... You can't do it all by yourself. Let's start with that. I certainly can't. I'm here because of you. And you're here because of me. We take care of each other. We protect each other because we're family.
Yes, Father.
Well, there's still time to be perfection. The point is that you work for it. It gives you
Of course.
gives you a smile that, just a reassuring smile.
Yeah, she just kind of nods at it.
All right. Well, I'll leave you to rest. Do you want me to call for more sedatives?
No, thank you.
All right.
I think I can power through this one.
Okay. Well, if anything, there's I got you premium Matrix channels, so you can watch whatever you'd like.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I love you. Get better. And he reaches behind like the little closets that every room has, and he pulls out like a little get better balloon. And he ties it to your what do they call it, to your stretcher?
Yeah, the bed metal plating thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she just stares at that intently.
He like moves in to reach for another like touch, but after your reaction, he thinks better of it and just backs away and says, "Well, and he just walks out.
Yeah, she stares at the balloon and then it goes down to her arms and then her legs. And she just takes a huge deep sigh. Yeah.
And thank you. Give yourself a plot point for the wonderful role playing. So, over in the Fritz corner.
Do you want me to spin a plot point to take this over, or do you want me to
Actually,
just do
I would
it?
love that. If you have an idea, you should go.
Bam. I'm gonna spend a Queen 50-cent piece bigger than the other ones.
So angry and
So
passionate.
small amount of levity for another crash down Fuels Town. So yeah, Fritz is in the Matrix, and he is looking over what looks to be almost like a CAT scan of a skull, like a profile of it, with some things going on. He sees like, there's like you can see like a cerebral booster planted. So this is an X-ray of his own head that he's looking at, and he has a sprite that he's compiled next to him, and he's looking over this and just giving it orders. So like he's looking over it and just kind of off to the side. He's like, "Das hier, Zan," and nothing happens. And he looks over, and the sprite looks like it's in mid-action pose, and then it starts to kind of like it kind of glitches a bit and twitches, and he says, "Hey, ha, aus," and soon that one just disappears, and he's looking over the medical records, and they disappear, and everything starts to kind of crumble around him. The resonance kind of starts to undulate, and he gets dumped straight out of the Matrix. So whatever stun damage that is,
6 stun.
6?
Gee.
Okay.
Ouch.
So yeah, he gets yanked out of the Matrix, and he just kind of like wakes up and holds his head as just a huge headache comes on, and when he opens his eyes, he's in a room, and he sees a table, and he doesn't recognize any of it, and he looks down at the chair he's in. He's not strapped down. No one else is here. And he slowly he can't really get up. His head is racked. And then a little thing pops up in AR that says play, but in German. And so he plays it, and in his whole vision displays a video of a gentleman. He has short hair, he has a full salt and pepper beard, he has glasses that, for all intents and purposes, kind of just look like mine, like thick black rimmed glasses, and elf ears. Nothing obscuring his face. This is a full picture of Fritz, and it looks straight into the camera and gives a few moments of pause as Fritz kind of stares at it and tries to adjust. And after a moment, it says, "Dein Name ist Fritz. Sie haben eine schwere Demenz und erleben eine Amnesie." And so in German, it explains, "Your name is Fritz. You are having an episode of severe dementia and are experiencing what can be described as an episode of amnesia. You are most likely inside of your bunker in Detroit, Michigan. Do not worry, this will not last forever. You have implanted a cerebral booster in your brain that can counteract these symptoms, but due to some previous procedures, you have a deteriorating brain. At the moment, it does not seem to be lethal, but it is an ongoing process. Other updates will be given in video entries just like this, but for now, you have to shake off the dump shock and understand that you are safe. And here there is nothing that can get you. And you need to remember one thing before the next video playback, is that you cannot trust anybody. Do you understand? Do not tell anyone anything. You are on your own, Fritz. Stay here and wait for the playbacks. Do not leave. Do not enter the code into the panel. Stay seated and wait. You are safe here. and then the playback ends, and he looks around the room, and then kind of just sits back and waits for the next 50 videos to play that are launched in this queue. And over the course of the next 2 hours, Fritz slowly is brought back up to speed and naturally starts to remember himself again. And that's his day, pretty much.
Give yourself a plot point.
And after the 2 hours, he goes into AR and puts a tally on a virtual board. This is tally number 357. And then he closes it again.
Oh God.
Yeah, give yourself a plot point.
Give me that back.
Oh man, thanks guys. Everybody in chat is like, ooh,
Oh,
great
thank
man.
you.
For great scenes,
Thank you.
everyone is now the stream boss, so we all get a point of edge.
Yeah, another
Y'all are
one.
depressing as fuck this session.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
we were going for.
So you get
Yeah.
you all get a ding in your AR in the morning. We is
Great.
live.
Ding!
The Ziggy coming up again on the radio, Free Detroit. The weather keeps being all crazy. Is spring? Winters? Is okay though, cause there are always chance that things getting better tomorrow. The Ziggy hears about this big kerfuffle involving the wiener truck. This is a lesson for all the peoples. The environment is the life, but the extremism for anything is bad news. Dares I say, even the ice creams. The Ziggy hold on to the parent advice. He's distracted by the hot doggy thing. Next, the tune of the Parkers.
Deliverance is like, I love the sound.
Voltar shuts it off.
She's like, Megan.
She's such a mom. I love her.
Amy, come on, get up.
There went Fritz.
Well,
There's Fritz again. So, yes, great. So, it's the start of a new day. It's actually been, and actually it's the start of a new week. You've had about a week of downtime to, train on anything that you want to train, relax, and just take care of your own personal lives. And then you finally get a message. This time it is from El Marquez. This is going to go to Fritz or Voltar. I'll say Voltar.
okay. I will answer. He was the guy that helped us out last time, right?
He was your Johnson on the last run.
Yeah.
Is the Aztlaner, and says, "Good day, miss. How are you?"
I am fine.
Excellent.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. Muy bueno. So, as much as I love pleasantries, I could speak it with a lovely lady like you all day. I would like to offer you another position after the fantastic job that you and your partners did. Unfortunately, I need some magical assistance on this one. Do you happen to know any mages in the area?
I do not. You just thinking? Calculating?
You do. You know Deliverance.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Deliverance is one, I just don't know.
Yeah.
She's definitely a magician, you know for sure.
Yeah, I imagine Voltar being like, I do not, recalculating. Yes, I do.
There is no way in shutting down.
Yeah.
Perfect. Then how about we all meet? And chat, can you give us a meet location for the next job, as well as let's start throwing out some ideas for jobs as well, or not specific jobs, but just throw out like elements that could be in a job type, a target, an enemy, etc., etc. Thank you to Shadow Walker of Love for the follow.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead and round up your contacts. Fritz and Deliverance. Bro will unfortunately is taking a leave of absence, so he will not be able to join us. But that's okay. I don't need as much. I don't think we need as much Matrix assistance on this one.
Yes, he is on a tournament for bowling.
One question: are you willing to travel?
How far?
Far.
Yes.
Excellent.
I do not know about my companions.
Well, we'll let them know that this is going to be all expenses paid flight.
Very well.
And
May
we'll go
I
over the details.
Oh, I was going to ask for him, but
Yeah,
go ahead.
no, we'll go over the details once we're all together, yes?
Yes.
All right.
Where are we flying? Sorry.
He hasn't said.
Oh, okay.
Actually, he said all expenses paid, so I guess Voltar's just assuming that it's flight.
It is a flight to somewhere. So, let's see. So where should they meet? Did my music just stop? It did.
Yeah. Do you not have it on loop?
I don't have it on loop. This is the thing. Ooh, excuse me. This is the thing about Roll20.
Wow.
When you're like, when you put in music, it doesn't have auto repeat, which I think is like the dumbest thing ever. So you have to like manually do it on each one. So let's do. Actually, yeah, we'll do this one. So, let's see. So we are going to. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, a meeting place. So let's meeting at the airport. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Oh man, but the airport's like really high security. That's kind of a weird place to meet. Let's do
You
like,
want to go to a... No.
maybe like an airport like one
Bowling.
of those bowling alley. No, I'm thinking like one of those. No, I'm thinking like those hotels that that pilots go to, and pilots and stewardesses that they can like hang out in, like so an airport bar and yeah, let's do that. Airport bar and hotel. The airport Ramada. Thank you, Nick Morgan. Let's do that. So we're gonna meet at the I don't remember the what was the name of the airport for Detroit? Well, whatever. So the Detroit International Airport Ramada. Yes?
So we're meeting at
Sure,
the
I'm sorry, I'm
Detroit
trying to
Airport
remember.
Ramada?
Yes.
Got it.
Excellent. Well then, buenos dias. Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Farewell.
So, do we want to roleplay the get together again, or how do we want to?
Yeah, why not?
Might as well.
I want to. That would be nice.
And while we do that, hey, should chat start firing off some tags? Or
Yeah. I'm
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
I'm seeing
Yeah.
tags already. Let's see.
Yeah.
So
More tags!
I'll
More tags!
I'll
text,
jot them
more
down.
text.
I'll jot them down as the Detroit Metropolitan Airport. Yep. Perfect. Thank you,
Az,
Goran.
why don't you give the chat another description of what we do? Because I'm seeing new people
Oh.
that are here.
Well,
that don't know
hey,
what's going
welcome.
on.
Yeah, so we are completely improvised. tabletop role-playing game of Shadowrun Anarchy, the cyberpunk game set in the Shadowrun world, and we run completely off of audience suggestions, so you can affect the plot right now by just throwing out ideas, and every time that we like an idea, we get rewarded, you get rewarded with a raffle ticket, and yeah, it's good times.
Yeah, and tags are different themes for the run, so...
Yeah, I think like tags for a blog post. You know,
Hashtag LOL, hashtag YOLO. Those
God,
kind of things.
no, but something a little more descriptive.
Taco trucks,
Yes.
trucks.
Yeah.
Like, for
Awakened sausages, that'd be an interesting one.
That would be amazing.
I'm not doing awakened
That sounds
sausages, guys.
That
No,
sounds
those
delicious,
were all just
Travis.
examples. Those were all
Yeah.
just examples.
Sure.
Actually, you know what? I'll say this because I do need to. I should say this to get us started. You get a message from El Marquez that you will be going to Tenochtitlan.
Okay.
Fuck is
that-
Tenochtitlan? Am I just dumb for 5
Sounds
seconds?
familiar.
It
Where
is.
that?
It is in Aztlan. It is
That's right.
It is the headquarter cities of Aztechnology.
I'm gonna suggest that because I could not find that.
No, nobody suggested that. This will tie into something stream bossy.
Came from
Oh.
Oz's
From
noggin.
Opti.
Oh, from Opti's noggin.
Of course.
So when Deliverance sees that that's their next location, she goes, "Oh, okay, I haven't traveled in a while."
Real fake diamond heist.
And she's kind of she's like humming as she packs her bag, and then Reggie like unpacks it, and then she like
Yeah.
repacks it.
Oh, Reggie.
No, sweetie, mommy needs that, honey. Give that back, please. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
I think Voltar would just contact them via messaging, not really like video chatting, and just giving them the details that she basically got. Like, I keep forgetting our last fixer's name. I have it written down. Mexican boy. That's what I have written down. Good job, Paige. But yeah, he contacted us, and he has a job. He wants to explain details at the airport, and he'll pay all paid expenses for a flight to this location.
I'm jotting down suggestions, so you guys.
No, that's fine. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to start copying suggestions to post them to the raffle.
All right. I think Deliverance will arrive at the Ramada early. She gets Sister Abigail to come a little sooner than normal, and she goes and orders herself some lunch, and she's kind of she's got a physical journal out, and she's journaling.
I think that's when Voltar would sit next to her. Just like very abruptly, just like.
Hi, Voltar. How you doing?
Hello, Deliverance. I am fine. A little sore.
Oh, why are you so? Oh my! That's a new arm, isn't it, lady?
2, in fact.
Ah, yeah, you got them both done. My goodness. Now you are that's Aries tech, right? You're an Aries lady.
You could say that, yes.
All right. Mind if I ask something about that? Do you how was it working for them? Did you get in there when you were a kid? Did you go to school with them? What?
I'm trying to think of what she would say. I'm sorry.
Is this all
Family.
being is this like subvocal? Are we all able to hear this?
I would
No,
imagine-
she's talking in real time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, imagine
Yeah.
Voltar's just talking.
Right.
Yeah, Voltar looks at her for a couple seconds. Family, actually.
Your family? What do you mean by that?
I was born into it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. You so your family just worked for Ares and they put you in there with some kind of program?
Yes.
Did you you went to school there? How was your school experience?
As if you could explain the school system to Ares to me, then I can come up with a mini flashback for Voltar.
So think military school,
Okay.
privileged military school. That's probably the best explanation for it. So you were taught plenty, but you were also in a very disciplined, regimented program.
Way. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Voltar kind of looks away from her for a moment. Almost very distant, like she's trying to remember something and she can't. It was very disciplined. Since my father was with Ares at the time, I was very well put into the system.
That so it made a difference that your parents were part of Ares, hey? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And you you signed up. You wanted to get all augmented and stuff, or did they pick you for that?
I don't know. It just
You don't know.
happens now.
It just happens. Okay.
Oh, good.
Red flag, red flag,
Yeah.
red flag.
That's so they and they're are they the ones sending you on these runs? I can't imagine they are an impartial third party.
My family does that. In fact, I remember my family being the ones who wanted to make me perfect.
All right. And she
But I learned a lot in the program.
I'm sure you did. She's like, where's Fritz?
Yeah.
So are we like patched into comms? How does this work? Because like when before we always assumed that we would have in touch with each other.
I
like,
assumed
how
that
does
this was
that
I assumed that this was a conversation between the three of you, unless Deliverance and Voltar. Were you guys? Was this
They
a separate? This is a separate
arrive-
conversation.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't have been secret necessarily.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I
meant
kind
to
of
be
imagined,
casual.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So would Fritz have heard that if he had patched in via AR, or
Yeah.
because he's not there yet? So if not, then he
Correct.
didn't hear any of it.
Well, I think we can say you heard it. Yeah.
Yeah?
For sure.
Okay. So he definitely doesn't show up physically, and
Yeah,
he pops up in display, like no one else sees it, but he kind of like walks into the building and like is listening to the conversation, and as soon as Ares comes up a lot, he kind of like slips by and sits somewhere else and patches in with the black silhouetted figure, almost on cue.
Yeah, I was imagining like
when
Deliverance
she's like,
looking around
Where
and
is Fritz?
yeah. I imagine Deliverance looking around and Voltar's just
Yeah.
being like, "Do you really think he'd show up?" Like,
The hacker man of mystery. There you are.
Yeah. This is a very public place for a meeting, don't you think? It's
Very
very particular.
security.
I suppose. Hiding, playing, set, and all that.
Yeah. He doesn't, he's kind of very short, and like the silhouette like isn't like it isn't like strict like sitting up straight and
Posture
everything.
perfect,
It's kind of
yeah.
like it's kind of like moving around, and like the big black silhouette you could assume is its arm kind of like hits
Yeah.
its head a lot. And,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, Fritz.
Yeah. Tight sleep schedule, you know, the life of a Shadowrunner and all that.
Well, I am pretty excited to get on a plane to go somewhere. It's been a while, let me tell you. I have a question. Would Fritz would he have personal contact information available? Like, would Deliverance be able to contact him privately at any point ever?
Because he gives you a burner comm link, like fake comm link that he can throw at any time. So you both have that. Voltar's used that to contact him before. So, yeah. Actually, you both have contacted him before.
Okay, just I couldn't remember, so I just wanted to be clear that he would allow that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Oh, right. Okay, we're meeting our. Okay. Anyone want to play StarCraft?
It's at that moment that this man, he's kind of portly, unkempt. He's kind of like hobbles over to Deliverance and Voltar at the airport. We're gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna spend a plot point just to get us there.
Yeah, go for it.
Is Fritz going to show up physically, or?
Because
you kind of need to get on this flight
yet, right? But are we meeting before? So like, basically, when there's the meeting, with the information, like he'll be physically on the flight, but I think for the meeting itself before the flight, is it before the flight or on the plane? Like where exactly are we meeting?
We're currently
he'll
meeting
physically be there
before
for the
the flight at the airport. We're gonna say at the airport bar.
He'll be in virtual then, but he'll be on the plane physically when the time comes.
Yeah, the bar is called the Flights of Shots.
I get it. Maybe I don't.
That's a joke people understand.
Maybe I'm wrong. No,
Totally
what is it called when you have like? Isn't it a beer flight? Am I wrong here?
Yeah.
Like just
It's like
little shots
a
of
flight
beer.
of I know where you're coming from, but also I'm 5 years old, so
So the Flights of Shots.
Flights of beer, flights of shots, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it's just called flights. That'll make
boring. Nah. Okay. Anyway, so this unkempt, kind of portly man, in a pilot's hat, walks over and says, "Buenos dias. I was told by El Marqués that you are going to be my passengers this evening."
Sounds about right.
Does he have
Pleased
a
to
name
meet you,
tag?
sir.
Yeah. Does he have a name tag or something?
Yes, his name tag is Captain Lawrenson. So thank you to Goraim for the suggestion. It's like way up there. Sorry.
Well, you're gonna have to copy that shit because I'm not going up there.
I don't have it.
Get Kareem's name on there. Well, it's great to meet you, Captain. So when are we heading out? You been there before?
Yeah, I've made that flight thousands of times.
Oh, that is very reassuring.
Very.
Captain,
Yes.
have you been drinking?
No.
Don't lie to me, Captain. You cannot lie to me.
Give me give me your judge intentions. Charisma plus
As a matter
logic.
of fact, I have a spell called Analyze Truth.
I have a spell.
which I am going to cast.
Mm-hmm. Nice, and then
So is
give me
that
a sorcery.
test?
Yes.
Okay, dope.
Ooh, is this the first spell?
Nah, she's cast
Oh,
other things.
damn!
Ow.
Hang on. I must have some rerolls here. Nope.
No, we just got a point of edge, right? Oh no, rerolls.
That's true.
But we got point.
I don't
yeah,
think
edge.
I want to edge this
Two.
particular
We
one.
have 2 extra points of edge.
Sure.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
I?
positive.
Our edge doesn't refresh between sessions anymore.
No, it does not. You have 2 extra bonus edge so far.
Oh.
Ooh, whoops. So,
Yeah, that was public, but
that was
whatever.
public,
I wasn't
but yeah,
gonna reroll
I
anyway.
made that super easy, and you still failed. So no, he's not drunk. He probably just had a little something. He probably just had gas.
But do I know I failed? Like I'm just not 100% sure.
You don't really feel like your spell was as effective as it's been before.
Okay. Well, all right. As long as you can get us there safely.
I make the judge intentions. I was gonna help, but then she was like, "I'll cast a spell," and I was like, "Oh, I can't assist with that."
You can make a judge intention, sure.
What is that?
Charisma plus logic.
Okay.
I'm sure you have lots of both of those.
I mean, in between, yeah.
A shot glass falls out of his pants for some reason.
First successes.
Whoa!
Yeah, he's drunk. You can tell by the way that like his shirt's hanging out of his pants, his hat's off to the side, and just the hiccuping and the slurring. It's probably not super safe to fly with him. That said, is it unusual that you're getting a free flight?
Yeah.
This is maybe this is what you get as a free flight.
Yeah. Voltar, he will, his name is Lawrence, right? Captain Lawrence?
Yes.
Lawrence?
Lawrenson.
I love that name. She will, kind of look at him up and down and, ask, "How long is this flight?"
Give or take about 3 hours.
How long before we depart?
We can board in about an hour.
I'm going to buy you a coffee and walk around.
Oh,
And she stands up.
that's really sweet. I appreciate that. I could really use a coffee.
Clearly.
Yeah. Yeah, he takes a seat he's about to take a seat at the bar, and you notice the entering from the back is a well-dressed Aztlan man who you recognize who Fritz and Voltar recognize as El Marqués. Deliverance has not met this man yet, but this time, instead of being in the traditional garb, the serape and the sombrero and everything, he comes out. He's in a sharp, well-tailored suit, and he's lugging like one of those suitcases, and says, "Well, good to see all of you, and you, señorita." And looking at Deliverance, this is the first time I make your acquaintance. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing really well.
Yes.
I really like the tie.
Thank you. It is silk.
Looks very fancy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You can. My name is Jose, but you should, of course, call me El Marqués. This is what I go by,
Marqués?
El Marqués. At his arrival, that's when the pilot kind of like goes, and he just like doubles back and takes a seat in like the corner of the bar and like facing away. And says,
Before anything goes on, I hound down the bartender. "You will not give him anything to drink of intoxication, but coffee and water.
Sure.
I will fucking bribe him if he could.
No,
Thank you.
that's fine. And like he looks over at El Marquez, who gives her, or sorry, she looks over at El Marquez and he gives her a nod, and she nods back and okay. And she starts brewing a coffee next to the soy Kahlua station.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And the soy Baileys. So when she's done brewing her coffee and mixing the martini that El Marquez orders, she goes to deliver, and as she's on her way there with the coffee to Captain Lawrenson, he turns to you and says, "So, this is going to be a relatively simple job, but an important one. Simple trabajo. I need you to confront some Catholic rebels. So thank you to Palmer for that suggestion. Catholic rebels. They formed a gang called Los Rojos Muertos. They are a rebel.
The Red Death? Is that what it is?
Yes, the Red Deaths.
The Red Deaths. Yeah.
Yeah, they are rebels in Tenochtitlan, and they're causing all kinds of trouble. Typically, I can overlook that, but they have something of mine, something that I'm interested in. Somehow they were able to acquire a golden idol. Thank you to Greyman 222 for golden idol. And namely, my reports state that it is in the hands of their leader, who is only known as Serpiente.
Hello, Auntie.
Serpiente.
Yes.
Serpiente.
As you might have figured, most of my business and the trabajos I give are based out of Aztlan. I've come to recruit outsiders because I find that, well, it is easier to have deniability when there's foreigners that have nothing to do with me. You understand?
Ain't that the truth?
There is, of course, one stipulation that I must make. If, for whatever reason, you come across as technology, which you probably will, Tenochtitlan is basically as technology territory. There is, unlike many cities, there is no extraterritorial space that you can run into that as technology cannot find you in. They will hunt you down all the way to the border if you mess up. If you, of course, come across as technology, and if you are careful, you won't. But if you do not let that golden idol fall in their hands.
All right, so we gotta find the golden idol. We gotta snatch it for you. And we gotta avoid as technology in Tenochtitlan.
Correct.
Do I get a
It's a
fedora?
hell of a lot of work.
I'm sorry? Voltar?
I was making a reference. It's making an Indiana Jones reference.
Gotcha.
All right, let's talk money. That sounds like a lot of work.
All right. Well, given that I'm basically paying for the flights and transportation, this is basically just as any other job, a job. Of course, I'm giving you bonus for the think of it as per diem spending money. I am willing to give you 2 karma now, and then 2 karma later, after the job is complete.
Now, I think that it's unfair that you would think that giving us transportation is a bonus, because you said yourself that it's much easier to use somebody less traceable. So we are an advantage for you. We're a steal of a deal at 4 karma. So I think that we should be at least 6.
Not to mention, the pilot is clearly intoxicated.
What? See? Yeah, I thought so.
Well, he's actually better when he's drunk.
My dear friend, that is, how do you say it? Bullshit.
Some people function very good after some tequila, you know what I'm saying?
I've met those people.
That's fine. He's having coffee. We're waking him up. If it makes you feel more secure, of course. But you can give me a negotiation test. Voltar, actually, before Deliverance rolls, Voltar, if you would like to roll a charisma to...
yeah, why not?
To assist. And...
1 success.
1 success. So you get a bonus die, Deliverance. And I will spend a plot point for a glitch die.
Ooh. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Okay. That will be 7 successes. And a success on the glitch die, so that's 8 successes. I need my karma.
Do I want to spend a point of edge? I'll spend a point of edge.
For 7 successes and an exploit, I mean,
Yeah.
I think you're just gonna lose either way.
God damn it! Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah,
come on.
there it is.
I matched 7 exactly, so you win.
What?
And an exploit.
Okay. So he says, "You are quite inteligente. I must give you. You're charming. You have a way with you.
Oh, wow.
I color me impressed. All right.
1 extra karma on top of the 6.
Yes. Tell you what. We'll do this. We'll do 3 karma now. 3 karma. Actually, no. 2 karma now. 4 karma after. If you complete the job.
All right.
And I'll also cover your housing, transportation on land, etc. So if you require any sudden, airlift, perhaps, I could possibly get that arranged.
Extraction, yes.
Extraction.
All right. That is, I had a feeling that you were a reasonable man.
I'm nothing
Much
but reasonable.
appreciated. Certainly. All right, shall we get the show on the road, or rather in the air?
Absolutely. I'll be accompanying you so that if you need my services, I'll be on land. I will of course not be anywhere near your area of trabajo, but I will
Naturally.
I'll be on call.
All right, good to have your number.
Excellent. So, you board the plane, the private suborbital flight to Tenochtitlan, and it's just the 3 of you, Captain Lawrenson piloting, with his co-pilot, who is actually I was gonna say El Marquez, but no.
Sober?
Who is sober? Who is actually sober? Some co-pilot.
He's actually just... Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his co-pilot, and yes, and El Marquez, who is sitting up front. Actually, let's say the whole thing is first class. So you have
Sweet.
drinks. They're not necessarily premium liquors, but modest.
Deliverance pulls the co-pilot, like, kind of leans to one side and says, "Don't let him, take off our land, please."
Yeah. She looks at you, and she says, "Oh, yeah. Trust me, I take care of all of that."
Oh, thank God. I am very glad you are here.
We've been working together for a long time. I know the drill.
Oh, that poor lady.
You are a saint. You are a saint.
Oh, thank you. Well, have a great flight.
Thanks. You got any root beer?
You'd have to ask our stewardess. I'm sure she'll.
I will check with her. Thank you.
I
Thank
believe-
you.
yes.
Do your thing. I will not bother you about root beer anymore.
All right. The flight takes off. Deliverance gets a root beer, and oh yeah, Fritz. Wait, we need to roleplay that.
Yeah.
Fritz, you're muted.
I'm fine. Yeah, this is the first time Deliverance would see Fritz. Well, that she knows of.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
So
So Deliverance is
Minus
definitely
the
sitting on a
doctor's
plane.
mask.
Let's set that scene, right? Deliverance is sitting on the plane. She's having her root beer. Voltar's probably behind her or beside her.
Yeah.
Where would you go?
Probably in like the seat next to her. Not like not like touching, but like the aisle.
Yeah, the seats, they're all like
Weird.
individual seats. There's a seat,
Oh, okay,
an
yeah.
aisle,
So
and
yeah,
a
so
seat.
she's either to her left or to her right.
Okay, so she's
Either
beside you.
seat. Yeah.
And then El
So-
Marquez is up front.
yeah, Fritz walks up the stairs. I assume is this like a private flight? This is like a private
Yeah.
jet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he walks up like the steps into the plane and takes a seat like across the plane from the other two. And I don't know how memorable Deliverance is of people who have come into her shop, but this is he has. Go on.
I was wondering if I could roll for that.
Sure, give me a memory.
Memory
That's a
test?
logic plus logic.
Okay.
So yeah, so this man walks in. It's a 0. You know, remember. He doesn't look
Zero,
anything.
I
But
don't
this man, I guess he was very well disguised. Walks in. There's the recycled air that's coming. That planes are well known for. The door closes, or the hatch closes, and Deliverance. It dawns on you that this must be Fritz.
He has a like a dark brown, like almost like detective's trench coat. You know, it's like dark brown with like armored shirt and pants with like tactical boots. He has like a scarf over his face with a little like digitized skull with tiny fangs on it. And right now he's not wearing aviators. He just has these like black rimmed glasses and some short brown hair, and he has kind of like steely blue eyes, like kind of like not super like vibrant, but they're like noticeable since they're the only thing that you can see of his personality so far. Yeah, he sits. He's kind of like he has his hands folded in front of him at the little table that is there.
So Deliverance, without leaning forward, she's going to smile, give a friendly smile, and say, "Fritz, it is great to finally meet you face to face."
He's on
May
the
I
other
check-
end of the plane. He's on like you're on like.
Oh, I thought we were across the
imagine-
table.
yeah.
Oh, okay. No,
Not
she's
not
gonna
across the
walk
table,
up to him
across
then.
the plane. Yeah,
Across
he
the
just
plane, okay. Okay.
You're
So she
gonna
walks
be
up to him and she's kind of standing like she stands a distance further away than is normally socially acceptable.
Yeah.
And she says, "Fritz, it is great to finally meet you in person. May I shake your hand?"
Yeah. Yes,
Hello.
yeah, he shakes. He has would he wear gloves? I don't know. I don't think I ever did. I think he just has
Fingerless? I imagine
Yeah.
fingerless.
Hobo gloves. Yeah.
fingerless gloves. Yeah. But yeah, he shakes your hand and gives you a nod. Yeah, just goes back to having his hands folded in front of him.
She's gonna gesture at the seat across from him and say, "May I?"
Yeah, if you will.
All right, thank you. This is a rare treat. I doubt that we'll get much chance to meet up in person again.
Well, it is a, it seems as though we are a trio, a favored trio. And if we are to be running together like this, then a certain amount of trust has to be given, and that trust needs to be reciprocated. So just know that this is not an easy decision for someone like myself, but also trust that I also have the ability to crash this plane into the Pacific Ocean if needed. And you can't see it, but he smiles under the mask.
I'm laughing, Fritz, but that was really scary. That was real scary.
I apologize. My social skills are not up to par. I don't talk to people much.
You know, I knew someone like you a long time ago, and I respect that. You, not everybody wants to be around people all the time.
Yes, it was an unfortunate, well, in my eyes, unfortunate circumstance to come to with this, as I'm sure you understand what I am and the stigma that comes with being that type of person.
I understand a little bit. I'm being awakened myself, but not emerged. I know that can be the next level.
Yeah.
Next level of. Anyway, here we are, and I guess we'll off to Aztlan, eh?
Yeah, should be an interesting trip to say the least.
Ding. Ladies and
He means
gentlemen,
being German.
ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain, Captain Lawrenson speaking, and I am your. And on behalf of myself and the entire crew, welcome aboard Aztlan Air Private Flight 1, non-stop service from Detroit to Tenochtitlan. Our flight time will be 3 hours and 7 minutes. We will be flying at an altitude of 50,000 meters.
He's still drunk.
50,000
Well, it's affordable. It's
meters,
affordable. Yeah,
feet,
it's okay.
meters, feet, and you hear like off to the side, feet. Okay, 50,000 feet. At a ground.
That's not affordable.
Yeah, at a ground speed of 250 miles per hour. At this time, make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position and that your seatbelt is correctly fastened. Also, your portable electronic devices must be set to airplane mode until an announcement is made upon arrival. Thank you.
You sound too chipper to be a pilot. You gotta have the. I was just on 3 planes in a row, and all of them are.
But
Hello, and lecture to.
well, you know
get
why?
into
Because they
your-
haven't been drinking.
maybe they have. There was some fucking serious turbulence. I'll tell you what.
It's like
No.
for portable wireless devices. Does Voltar have to shut down? Like, does Voltar
you
just
just
have
have
to go to sleep?
I am a portable wireless device, bitch.
No, you can turn off
Airplane
wireless. Yeah, you can turn off wireless. Like you'll still function, right? But you just
Oh,
won't. You'll
yeah,
have
yeah.
certain capabilities will be turned off. Like
Okay. Well, hopefully
Better-
we don't have to get into a fight.
basically, think any bonuses that they're giving you. Like
Oh, God,
yeah,
okay.
they would have to be. You
So
don't
my
get them.
entire body.
Right.
Please turn off your street Sam. Please set your street Sam to airplane mode. Thank you.
That's beautiful, Green Man.
Oh,
Great.
boy.
All right.
Yeah,
and-
like I don't know, like Palmer says, like is there seriously like do we still have to turn everything off in 2080 when everything is
Yeah.
wireless?
Right.
Is that like
Let's not get too deep down this rabbit hole.
yeah. So that's the thing. The plane is wireless, so more wireless is bad.
Yeah.
Science. And with that,
All right,
we'll return
all right.
in
Yeah.
5 minutes. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, and we will return for the beginning of maybe the end, or the beginning of the beginning, the beginning of the middle. Who knows? Let's. Yeah.
Confuse the audience
Wireless.
even more.
Please turn off your RoboHog. Thanks. All right.
Good work, everyone. Good work.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't
Oh, so
worry, Story Mage. We'll be back real soon.
yes. Stay tuned. 5 minutes.